I found love in work.
Oh, nice.
I actually married someone who I was working with.
Hello, welcome back to Makamba, the space where we have real conversations, unfiltered conversations about life, about work, and everything in between. I'm your host, as always. I'm Enobong, and today we are diving into a topic that resonates with so many of us, a topic that people think about, talk about, and usually want to refer to as it is. And that topic is when love meets ambition. Yes, very, very, very funny, scary, but a worthwhile topic that we need to look at today. For driven women and men, probably navigating relationships, whether you're dating somebody or it's a marriage or it's a long term partnership, as we have it today, we realize that there are some people who do not particularly are in a marriage, but they are partners, so they live together. It comes with different kinds of joys, unique challenges. It always has its own way. So, how are you able to pursue these big dreams, as the case may be, and how are you nurturing love when you're also pursuing ambition? What kind of sacrifices are you making? What compromises are you making in the course of it? On what kind of support systems do you have? That makes the difference. And to help us unpack this, I've brought on the table today, on the hot seat, as the case may be, a special guest, Mrs. Jumoke Akinyele. She's a seasoned brand business director. She's somebody I would say has walked the path of blending love and ambition. Jumoke, to the best of my knowledge, as much as I know her, is a very ambitious person, and at the same time has a way of how she combines her ambition and nurturing love at the same time. So together, we want to explore what the realities are, what the myths are, what wisdom comes with love and ambition, and how they collide at the end of the day. So settle in. If it's a coffee you want to get, if it's a drink, if it's a lemonade, whatever it is, let's jump in. But just before we jump in, I'd like to read Jumoke's profile. Just like I mentioned, as a brand business director. So it's important for us to get to know her a little bit better so that when she's unpacking, this myths and realities, as the case may be, then we will understand how she's able to combine love and ambition. So Jumoke is a seasoned brand and business director known for driving growth, innovation, and profitability in the marketing communications industry. As a leader at Noah's Ark Communications Limited, Noah's Ark is one of Nigeria's leading top agencies. She oversees strategic direction, daily operations, ensuring that every client partnership delivers measurable brand and business impact. Jumoke combines strategic insight with creative precision. She aligns agency capabilities with client ambitions to produce communications that resonate and endure. Considering that we're in customer service week, I'm sure this is at some point in time that a lot of this is coming out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Her leadership style is rooted in collaboration, clarity, and excellence. She empowers teams to perform at their best while keeping the agency agile and future ready. Beyond her professional achievements, Jumoke is passionate about mentoring young women and developing emerging talents. She serves on the LAIF, Life Management. I wanted to say that first, then say the Life Management and Women in Advertising boards. She leads innovation initiatives, and she volunteers as an usher in her church. And to the best of my knowledge, I think you also have another additional cap added to that. You tell us about that as well. She's also a devoted wife, and she's a mother of three. I'm very excited to have Jumoke because Jumoke is someone that I have taken the time to study, so to speak. I'm sometimes when I get to say a few things about her, she's wondering how did you get to know. But Jumoke is someone I've taken time to study, and hence why the topic love, love and ambition has come together, because I think she portrays very seriously how she's been able to combine how she's grown ambitiously and how she's been able to manage and nurture love. So, Jumoke, welcome to the Makamba podcast.
Thank you so
We are
much.
very excited to have you, and we are grateful that you could make out time because your schedule was quite busy,
I know, right?
But thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
actually
much for
making out
having
time
me.
because personally, this was a topic for Makamba that I wanted to bring to reality. Let's just delve very quickly into, some of the questions I have for you today.
Yeah.
So let's start with the personal lens part of it. So when you hear the phrase, when love meets ambition, what comes to your mind, personally and professionally? And I would like, as you respond to this, share, a bit of your own journey, how you were balancing ambition, with love or with your partner.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. I think for me, when I hear love and ambition, a lot of things come to mind. First off, is about how you're able to passionately do what you are called to do, irrespective of whatever it is. But just to give it some level of definition and simplifying it, it's basically how work and love meets. Work would then be business, career, your dreams, your passions, whatever it is that brings in money. So the money making venture side of you, plus the love side of you. And love would then, in the context of this conversation, will be the relationship you have with your partner, right?
Okay.
I know it's still slightly more encompassing because love for my kids, love for my siblings, and all of that. But just to drill
Your
it down a little bit,
parents, your friends.
and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think that for the purpose of this conversation, it's love with your partner.
Yes.
From a personal lens or from a personal perspective, I always say that my story is quite dynamic, right? Because I found love in work.
Oh, nice.
I actually married someone who I was working with.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so those are kind of rare stories that we get.
Yes. So I married someone who I was working with at the time. And I think that at the time the relationship started, it was when I just got into the industry. So I was
Green.
just very green.
Yeah.
That was my first job. And I put this because, again, I've done internships and all of those things. But getting into what I then see as a career path and seeing that trajectory was when I met my husband, and a lot of conversations, a lot of things in between. But I think that for me, it was understanding who I was at the time and where I wanted to be, and then how love then
was going to
comes
play,
to
how
help
there was going to be a play.
accentuate that. So it was first me and then him, and how we then came together to foster the love and all of those things. So I think in just to summarize, it is how work and how love meets. Right.
So yours was a double.
Yeah. I used one stone
One stone to kill two birds. So you came to work and then you
And I
found
found
love.
love. Yes.
And so what I can deduce from this is you having to keep an open mind, because love can actually find you at work.
Can find you anywhere.
It can find you anywhere. Love can actually accentuate your ambition as well.
Absolutely.
And also be, some sort of platform or some sort of stepping stone in getting you into that. So
Absolutely.
so for you, it's not a wrong thing. It's not a no. It's an opportunity. So that's actually a reality. It's not a myth.
It's not
a myth. It's a reality that
a lot of people find love at work.
Yeah.
That's not to say that that's the ideal for everyone. But again, you can find love anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just how you then express love in the spaces where you find them. You find at work, you find at school, you find in church, you find anywhere. But the bottom line is, whatever you're called to do, which is your ambition, or whatever you find yourself doing, which is your ambition, how do you marry that with your relationship with other people outside work and still not lose yourself?
So leveraging on that, would you say that even as much as you found, love while at work, that did not distort what it is that you were there to do?
No, I don't.
So was there some sort of separation between what was love and what was work? So when you were at work, it was work.
Of course.
When you were outside of work, it was work.
Of course, we understood the policies of the organization and just common sense. When you're at work, you are at work. When you're at play, you are at play. I wouldn't say because I'm dating someone, I then take the liberty to be very irresponsible, right? We understood that we were at work and we made work. And
okay, but still leveraging on that, actually, there are some organizations that if you start to have some sort of relationship at work,
You
I
would
don't know
have
if it
to.
applied to you, but did somebody have to leave for somebody?
We eventually got to that point, not because the organization asked us
Oh,
to,
okay.
but it was just a matter of personal family principle,
Yeah.
right? We didn't want to be fishing from the same from the
Yeah, I
same
understand
river,
what
so
you
he
mean.
had to leave. I'm still there, by the way, but he's left and moved on
And
to
moved
other
on.
places. Yes,
Excellent. So you can actually find love at work.
yes,
So love doesn't collide with ambition, so to speak, in a
mm.
negative manner.
Yes,
But you have to know what the principles of the organization, has set
yes,
in terms of
absolutely.
that. Because I
And
know that in banking,
you
one person
can't.
has to, yeah, it's not allowed
Absolutely.
in banking.
Policy.
Yeah, policy, the policy of the banking sector. But the other sectors that I went on to work, you
Still
could, your
allowed that.
spouse, even your children
Oh,
could
wow.
even work in the organization as well. So
Nice.
yeah, so I think it's different folks for different. Yeah.
And
So
then just to expand a little bit, you still have people who maybe do business, they have family businesses. There's love in there, but then there's still the work side of
yeah,
things. Yes.
that's it. That's
Yes.
very good. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you for throwing more like that. That's more like reality, not a
Absolutely.
myth. Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so we want to talk about societal expectations now. Do you believe that society still views ambitious women in relationships different from ambitious men? Because we actually do have that, and it's a rampant thing. And wearing the cloak of the counselor, which I wear sometimes, I actually do counsel a few. I've had the opportunity, let me put it like that, to have counseled a couple of people, couples, and then different in their different spheres where the man is ambitious but has an ambitious wife and sees that as a threat. And on the other hand, it double plays like that. So if you have seen this play out yourself, because I've seen it play out, but if you've seen it play out, what pressures or perceptions, has shaped your own experiences? Because I'm
Okay.
sure you get to see this or deal with this even at
Absolutely.
work.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So I think for me it's a yes and no response. Yes, because we're in a patriarchal
Yeah.
society, yeah.
True.
Even though we're saying we're evolving and we're in 2025, obviously. But a lot of these things have shaped how we see things. Sometimes you're scrolling online and you hear people or men or even women sometimes say, "Oh, my partner can't be greater than I am."
Yeah.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
Yes. So if you looked at it from the prism of the guy or the man who says my partner can be greater than I am, that's him coming from the perspective that the man is the head of the family and the head of the home. So everybody should be under me. And then you also have this new reality where women are aspiring to be more. Women are aspiring to do more, to be the fullest of
Of
themselves, right?
themselves, yes, the whole
So
of themselves.
in that circumstance, you realize that the woman is aspiring to be more. She does everything. She would do everything to be who she wants
She's
to
been
be,
called, yeah.
irrespective of if she's in a relationship or not. So, in terms of how the society sees it, I would say that yes, there are some limitations, or there are some limitations based on the reality of how we, especially in the African setting. But that's not to say that the world, Africa, Nigeria, people here aren't opening up to the realization and the reality that women can be more and they are more.
Yeah.
So it's a catch
And
22.
a lot of that is happening now. A
Yes.
lot of that is happening now because we are. I think we've gotten into the environment, the system, the world is changing so fast where more women are rising. It's almost
Yes.
like the veil has fallen. You
Absolutely.
understand? And women do no longer want to have the tag housewife anymore.
Yes.
They want to have tags that are seemingly them.
I want to be in the
Ex-
C-suite. I want to be in a
exactly. You want to
C-suite
be a
role.
C-suite.
I
You
want
want
to
to
be
be
on the board of an
exactly.
organization,
You
not
want
just
to
one
and you
organization.
want to be an entrepreneur that is making waves and
Yes.
also raising funds for her business and
Absolutely.
things like that.
Absolutely.
So in your opinion, what would you say to the younger people that are out there that are hungry for ambition right now? And we're talking love, we're talking ambition, okay? And at the same time, because what has happened with society
Yeah.
is that they have said that if you decide to become more than you say you want to be as a woman, the tendency is that the other part,
Mm-hmm.
you are not going to be good in the other part. You're not going to be that good wife,
Mm-hmm.
that perfect mother,
Mm-hmm.
that great companion,
Yeah.
So what would you say? Because I don't think that one should give way for the other, my opinion.
Yeah, and even sorry, I'm a Christian, so I would say this. The Bible says, "Don't be unequally yoked." Right?
True.
Yes. Don't be unequally, and you can translate that across board, right? I think for young people, myself inclusive, because that's what I tell myself all the time. You define you. You define who you are. You define what you want to be or who you want to be. And with counsel, mentoring, and your worldview, you'd be able to define how you get there eventually. But you need to be able to define yourself first. Identify the trajectory. Look at the milestones of your life before you yoke yourself with somebody.
But I'm going to take you up again, and I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought the Christian part, the Christianity part of it, because it's no longer exactly, the being unequally yoked at all, and the not having followed who you are yoked with and all. But somehow pressure has also set in.
Absolutely.
So even when you are properly yoked, you still in some cases have some of this.
Absolutely.
I just,
Yeah, but you're not going to lose yourself, which is why that definition of who Jumoke is, the definition of who Enobong is, and how you want to get there is clearly defined. The in-betweens might not be in black and white.
Yeah.
But I know that for me, I am not
that's well
stopping.
said.
So I started my career as a receptionist in the organization where I currently work, and I am now the business director. I knew the steps that I was going to take to get to that height. I knew what I needed to do. I knew the sacrifices I would have to make. I already had that defined. Love came and is helping to accentuate that. But if in the event that it wasn't that way, because again, everything is not black and white,
Yeah,
I
agree
wouldn't
with
have
you.
lost myself. Right?
I agree
So
with
it's
you.
how you are able to then straddle the right partnership to be able
Yeah.
to fly, really. And I'm not saying that everything would end as rosy as there'll be ups and downs, there'll be curveballs and all of those. But it is in having the right partner who shares the same dream with you,
Yeah,
right?
which is where support system
And who
comes
isn't
in.
hiding, because sometimes you'll find men or you find partners. I don't want to say it's peculiar
Yeah.
to men who would see very ambitious human beings, and then they like them as they were before they then went into
The whole partnership, yes.
and then the relationship. And then when you start to see the expression of your partner thriving, flying, and all of those, you start to feel threatened. Yeah. So those dynamics are there, and we're not going to be shy of acknowledging those.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think for whoever it is, whether you are the man or the woman in the partnership, you need to be able to know that this is who I am and this is what I stand for.
This is what I stand for.
Yes.
Awesome. I love the response. You're still on Makamba, Unfiltered Conversations, and we are discussing when love meets ambition. So I'm going to ask you again. So let's look at sacrifices and support, Jumoke. In your journey, have you had to make difficult sacrifices? You're a wife, you're a mother, you're an ambitious, you're a brand business director. So, and that in itself is, it's not just C-suite, it's executive suite, you understand? So choosing love over ambition or ambition over love, has it always, has it happened? And what did it look like? What did it look like? And what role does, your partner's support or lack of it, don't forget you're on Unfiltered Conversations,
Absolutely.
you understand? Does it play in navigating these trade-offs?
Okay, so I think for me, on a personal level, I would want to backtrack a little bit. Before I got into this relationship that I am now, my marriage, I had dated someone who, seemed ambitious in their own right. But I think that my ambition and the person's ambition didn't match. Right?
Okay.
So I wanted
So that's the trade-offs we're talking
so
about
I
now.
wanted to be everything I could be. I always would joke with my friends to say my father sent me to the best schools in the world. Even if it is a school in the village, that's the best school, and that's the school I went to. So he wouldn't have done all of that for me to now think little and be little, right? And I knew that, which is back to the conversation around defining who you are. So I already knew that. And when I saw the trajectory of that relationship, I knew it wasn't going to take me anywhere. And I would joke about it that at some point I'll just close the business side of me and then go open a store where, yeah, but that's me just trying to show
Yes, I
that
understand
sometimes
clearly.
these things are not balanced.
Yes.
But in the relationship that I am now, and even in relationships with my colleagues and other people that I relate to, you realize that sacrifice happens on both ends. For me, I have had to sacrifice, not that I have had to leave my work, but maybe do more work, strive harder just so that things can be balanced in the home front. And I know for certain that my husband has also done the same thing. I know that at some point he had to leave 9 to 5 to go into entrepreneurship just so that there's some level of work-life balance in the home.
Yeah.
Right? We both now have 9 to 5s. He's also an executive where he is. But within that journey, we understood where we wanted to get to, and we knew that there would be some trade-offs. And the trade-offs wouldn't be just on one partner. Right? So it should be mutually...
So it's something that you have sat together, you have talked about together.
Yes.
And try as much as possible to make a partnership that works.
Absolutely.
So that at the end of the day, the home front is not affected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's simple.
I hope the audience is getting it, so that if you are, going through something like this as it is, where you have love on one hand and ambition on the other, it's very important to ensure that it's not just one partner that is compromising, or it's just not one partner that is sacrificing.
Yes,
exactly.
That's the word.
So both partners are actually giving it their all 50-50.
Yes, it doesn't even have to be 50-50.
Well, it doesn't actually have to be 50-50.
Sometimes that one person is giving 100 and the person is giving 0.
As long as the support is there and it's mutual and it's understood by both parties.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I love the response.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jumoke.
Thank you.
Let's look at partnerships, dynamic and growth. How would you say that couples, you've been married you have 3 children, Jumoke, so you've been married for, yes, you've been married for a bit now, so how would you say couples cultivate healthy dynamics where both ambition and love thrive? So it's kind of similar to the other one, but saying that the previous question was more on sacrifices and compromises. But in this case, what are healthy dynamics that you believe, where you believe both ambition and love thrive without one overshadowing the other, right? And then this now translates into, long-term relationships or the marriage in itself. So how would ambition evolve? And what adjustments would help to maintain the connection along the way? What would couples have to continuously do? You understand? So nobody's giving up on the love part. Nobody's giving up on the ambition part. You understand? However, both are on this journey together. But in the long term, what do you want to see that what rippling effect do you see that it has on the marriage or on that relationship? How much ambition evolves in itself on one hand, and the adjustments, the couples need to make as they go.
So in attempting that question, I think I would say that the dynamics will differ from couple to couple.
Definitely.
Yes. And that's also based on
but there will be some basic
on their life journey.
Yes.
Whatever the dynamics for couple A is will be different from a couple B is. Again, dependent on what work is. So
True.
Work for me is my career, my 9 to 5. Work for my partner is also his career, 9 to 5, plus entrepreneurship, plus mentoring, plus lecturing, plus a whole lot. Yes. For some couple, it will be entrepreneurship. Some, depending on what the dynamic.
Some could be 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship.
So in having to then come together to ensure that we're able to straddle both, I think as simply as we would say it's communication, right? How are we able to share without any form of inhibition and judgment from a very objective point of view that our partner then sees and is able to buy into it? Again, life is business, irrespective of how you see it.
Yeah, true.
My relationship with you is business. I'm not saying business from a money-making venture. Yes, you should be able to make your points known, negotiate, and find a common ground. How are we as couples or partners able to then find those shared understanding of what this person's ambition is and what my ambition is, and see how we're able to meet, right? So it's about open communication. It's about mutual respect. Just speaking freely without having to judge. A lot of times we do strategy sessions for our clients.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. So
We
why
do.
not take it home?
Why not take it home?
True, I agree
When
with you
my
on that.
husband started that, and he would say, "Oh, Jumoke, let's discuss what," and it doesn't have to be at the end of the year. "Oh, let's discuss and appraise where we are." I always thought, guy, I can't be doing appraisal at work
Yes,
and
I
then
know.
coming to do
I
it
know
now.
what you mean.
But evolving
Yeah.
over time,
Yeah.
right? Which is where your career, your ambition
Yeah.
also comes to play, because it also evolves.
Yes,
Where you
true.
started is not where you're currently at, except if you are not ambitious at all,
Or
you
you're
don't
not
have anything,
moving, yeah.
or you are not
I see
moving.
what you mean.
But even in where you are, you're learning new things, you're applying new things. So if that is evolving, then your relationship with your
Must.
partner would also evolve in such a way that it accommodates where you are in your life state at the moment. All of that will come together if you're having very good conversations, open, no judgment
No
conversations.
filter
Myself, I
conversations.
always say, guys, sit down. Let's talk about this. You're not
Yeah.
going to judge me. I will tell you how it is. I will tell you.
Unfiltered.
Yes, that's the word. I will tell you
Unfiltered.
why I did these things or why I think I want to do this. I need you to be able to listen with an open mind, not just because you want to respond to me, but because you want to hear me and then help to shaping
And understand what it is I'm saying.
absolutely,
Yes.
and help to shaping what I am currently envisioning for myself. I need to be able to do that with you as well. And if that shared understanding is there, I think that we will just fly.
Awesome. So it's actually very, very, yeah. And I like the fact that you hammered on communication. So it's good that communication is going to take me to the next question. I like the fact that you hammered on that a lot, and the mutual respect as well.
Mutual respect.
The need to, and just like you said, I mean, we do strategy sessions in our workplaces. We're trying to ensure this is where we are, this is where we're supposed to be. So why are we not doing some of those things? Which is why I said, talk about the basic things, which is what you've done.
Yes.
Why are we not doing it, taking a lot of these things at home? Not just even probably just doing it just between us, the couple, but even extending it to the rest of the family to say
we do it with the kids.
exactly
we do it with anybody who lives with you, because you also need them to be on board.
Exactly align, because at that particular time there's a vision in the home,
Yes.
and it's very important that everyone is aligning
Yes.
with the vision in the home. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm loving this, and I hope the audience of Makamba is also loving this, because I'm sure somewhere along the line this particular episode is going to resonate, especially with the professionals.
Absolutely.
So let's look at practical strategies now. From your experience, Jumoke, what practical strategies work best for communicating needs? Which is why I said this was taking me into the next question. Communicating needs, setting boundaries, managing expectation, so that love and ambition can coexist without resentment.
Yes, without resentment.
Without resentment. Emphasis on without resentment. What kind of practical strategies?
I think it's basically sharing. Communication again, right?
Yeah.
If I'm able to share and communicate without any form of ambition, because I trust, that word is very important. I trust that my partner is looking out for me and wants the best for me.
Yeah.
Again, the onus is on your partner to then know that you are doing this in trust with them. And they also need to be able to live insecurities, because again, it's real. Sometimes I always feel like my husband is over pushing me, because he's the one asking, what's the next step? What are you doing? I'm like, guy, calm down. It's my life. Let me live it. But I have now come to the realization that he also just wants the best for me, because he doesn't want to be in. My husband is very proud of me. He always would. At some point, anytime somebody wants to introduce, like, you don't know her. She's Lexen's wife. At some point, I had to tell them, I don't want them to introduce me as Lexen's wife. I need them to introduce me as
Jumoke.
This is me as Jumoke.
Okay.
But then again, it's because love is allowing me thrive.
Yes.
That's why I can be introduced
Very
that way.
true.
So I think that it's in both partners, or both entities, coming to the realization that when one person shines, the other person shines, right? When my partner is shining, I'm shining.
It has a positive
and the onus is
reflection
on me
Yes.
also to be able to celebrate the success of that person. We're celebrating the wins, and we're walking through the not so good aspects of things as well. I would paint an example. There was a time like I said, he went into entrepreneurship and he was selling t-shirts. I would take the t-shirts to the office to sell, right? My colleagues would buy. I would also buy because again, they say business thrive when
Where
families and
family
friends,
vibe, yes,
yes,
of
play.
course.
But there was one exhibition we went for. I think it happened in Magodo a long time ago, and we paid for the stall, did all of that. We didn't sell one t-shirt from morning till night, even though we were advertising and we were going up and down and all of those. And then on the way home, I don't know why I did it. I just told him, "Oh, I'm sorry about what's happened today and all of those. I know you paid for the store. Can I reimburse you some part of the store money?" So we're sharing it together. And he looked at, and we've been married for about 5 years when
At
that
that
happened.
time,
And he looked at me and said, "Jumoke, do you know that this is the first time you are actually
in in
in this with
in
me and
this.
you are acknowledging this?"
Oh wow.
And I took that as a feedback to
Yeah.
say, yes, I might not be up in your business, but I really just genuinely want to know what is happening, just so that I can also lend a voice. Not because I want you to do it my way, but I need to see things from your own perspective and just see how I can be your cheerleader going
Yeah.
forward. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I hope somebody got that because it's actually very important. It's just that what has happened over time is that sometimes and like I said, I wear a hat of counseling, and so this example you painted, I've had a scenario where a couple during counseling, a particular one of the partners actually said, because I offered to do this at one point in time, this person now looked at it as an entitlement and so kind of abused it. Apparently, really was the source of
The issues they
what
were
the
having.
issues they were having, what was tend to be the abuse of me trying to support
Yeah.
and trying to be there for you. So it's a question of, yes, I'm there and I'll give you the support I can get within my own capabilities and
Absolutely.
capacity,
Yeah.
you know.
And again, I think the place of shared responsibility also
Yeah.
comes into play. In my own home, we know who is responsible for what. It was discussed. We
And
know. So
agreed.
the expectations are clear and set.
Okay.
And everybody rolls with it. If anything is then changing, I think the onus is on you not to just assume. You need to then begin to ask questions. Oh, these are my responsibilities within the ambit of love. I am not able to meet this responsibility
particular point
at
in
this
time.
particular. Can you cover up for me? And we're again, like I said, it's
Communication.
business. How long am I covering up for you? If you were at work and a colleague said, "Oh, I need you to step in for me," they're not going to leave their responsibility for you in perpetuity. Yes, so
Exactly.
you need to just again mutual respect, mutual conversations, unfiltered conversations.
Unfiltered conversations, yes. So we are bringing this to a close, Jumoke, but I want to look at wisdom and reflection with you right now. What are some of these common myths, about ambitious women and relationships? Because some of them are myths, some of them are realities, some of them are truths.
Yeah.
You understand? That you personally, Jumoke, would like to challenge. Because some are myths. And then finally, if you could offer one piece of advice, to a young, ambitious woman out there, whether she's in entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship, which is she's a professional that is navigating love and ambition today, what would that be? So first, I want you to debunk that myth, because there are quite a number of myths, and you've been in this industry for a bit, so you know that there are quite a number of myths. So which one would you like to challenge, actually?
They're quite a number.
They are quite a number.
Yes. So
I've been in professional world for about 3 decades, so I know like 1 million myths, in that area. And then now I've ventured into entrepreneurship, and I still see some of those myths come up. So, but for you, Jumoke Akinyele, which one myth would you like to challenge or debunk, as the case may be?
I think I'll mention a few, and then we'll zero in on one.
Right.
So first off is ambitious women are over ambitious. Yes. Again, if you're ambitious, you really want to just aspire
Definitely,
to do
you don't
more.
want to do more.
There's no one side to you.
True.
You want to explore every side of you.
Yeah.
So as a woman, I want to explore every side of me. Why do I have to cower when a man can and nobody is questioning that? But when it comes to a woman, she's over ambitious. So that's a myth.
Yeah.
Another one is they're very disrespectful. Hey, if a woman is your boss, you will see Pepe. Why? It's just the human being. Whether she's
She's firm when
Yeah,
she needs to
whether
be
she,
firm,
yes, so they're just
and she's doing what she needs to do to get the
yes.
job done.
Women who are ambitious can't keep relationships. They can't be
That's a
in
myth.
marriages.
I agree with you.
They don't have time for their husbands. They're going to be pushy and bossy. They don't have time for their
A woman should
children.
have more money than the husband
Yes, they are going
or the
to,
man.
rather than be present, they are going to outsource everything. And I think that's where I would then piggyback on to
Yes.
say that, yes, irrespective of how ambitious a woman would be, I don't have to be the one doing it with my hand and doing it. I can outsource. Well, it's costing me something to outsource. Yes, but outsource with sense. You're not outsourcing the very critical and life defining aspect of you as a person, or everything that then comes in with love and family responsibilities and all of those things. But if you need to outsource, please outsource. You're paying for it now. You worked to be able to
Definitely,
afford it in the
definitely.
first place.
Yeah.
So women who are ambitious can express all sides of them, irrespective of whether they are in a relationship or not.
One
But
of my mentors, I remember very clearly, one of my mentors, during one of a mentoring sessions, back then, had said she had a conversation with her husband and said, "Look, I'm growing in my career and I'm growing at an
economical
astronomical
level, yeah.
level. I'm not going to come back from work and go
Okay.
into the kitchen. That's not even going to happen. So I'm going to
Yes.
outsource this some parts. I'm not going to wake up on Saturday morning when I should be sleeping after a whole day. I'm going to outsource someone coming to clean the home."
Yes.
And it wasn't supposed to be seen as disrespectful. It was actually supposed to be, please partner with me on this.
Absolutely.
Because I'm exhausted. I need help. So partner with me on this. Let me have some extra hands come to help me.
But she still does that she still
Oh,
supervises.
she's in her 60s right now, and she's
Yes.
been married for, God for, and if the marriage works without
Yeah,
sourcing, then
absolutely.
there's no harm
Absolutely.
right now.
So just get all the help you
You can
can.
get all the
Get a
support you
very
can
good
get.
support system.
Yes.
Use as much help as you can on that journey to being the best version of yourself
yes.
within your career, without any inhibitions, nothing holding you back, and also with the support of your husband or your partner.
Yeah.
A partner who wants their partner, and again, it's on both sides, wants their other half to thrive,
Yeah.
would give them all the support
Yeah.
that they need. Right?
So what final, your final word would you share with, young,
think-
well, may not just necessarily be just young women,
People in general.
people, ambitious women in general, whether they are even currently in C-suite, whether they are thriving to be, whether they are entrepreneurs, what would be your last word?
I
to
think
them?
for me, it's defining yourself and defining your journey, and choose you.
Choose you. I like that. Choose you.
Choose you, and objectively choose someone who understands you and wants to go on that journey
with you.
Yes.
Wow. What a conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Would I say Mrs. Jumoke
Jumoke
Akinyele? Because
Akinyele is
I'm
fine.
trying to ensure that I'm not calling,
Don't worry, Jumoke is fine.
Jumoke, all
is
right.
fine.
For sharing, with such honesty and thoughtful insights on the intersection, of love and ambition, from the, importance of support systems to navigating sacrifices to breaking down the myths around ambitious women, quite a number which you've heard today, ambitious women in relationships. There was quite a lot to take home. And I just really do hope that, the audience was listening and writing down. So if you're listening and you found yourself nodding, if you watched, I was nodding quite a bit because I was agreeing to quite a lot, reflecting or challenged by today's episode. I'd love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts, tag us, on social media, or pass this episode to someone that you think should, needs to hear it as well. It's been an amazing journey here. Don't forget to subscribe to Makamba so you never miss future episodes. So important. And as always, ensure that you're tuning in. And like we do, that's a tradition. We don't always like to leave Makamba without saying thank you to our guests,
Thank you so much
for making out time. Because It's a lot from your busy schedule, making up time to come to Makamba. And we are really, really happy
Thank you so
that you
much
could
for
give us
having
this
me.
time. And I personally am so happy because, I mean, love and ambition wasn't just a topic that, just came up. It was also, listening to feedbacks because I do a bit of, I'm a data person, so I do a bit of survey,
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm trying to get topics for my podcast, I try to throw out short surveys around to
Mm-hmm.
certain people, and I put topics and I say, look, just tell me which one resonates. And love and ambition was quite. So I'm sure those who wanted it will look forward
Thank
to
you
it. So I
so
want to say
much.
thank you again,
Thank
Jumoke.
you.
It was such a pleasure and an honor to have you on the
Thank you so
Makamba
much.
set. So
Thank
to
you.
everyone else, my audience, until next time, after hearing what we've heard today, keep chasing your dreams, nurturing your relationships, and find that balance where love meets ambition. Very critical. And like we say on Makamba, until next time, keep it real, keep it raw, keep it unfiltered. Until I come your way next time, have a great, great, great day. Bye bye.